Yeah, yeah. We in the meth lab. We in the meth lab. You got your host, Big Twin on the solo dolo in here. First off, I want to say rest in peace to DMX. Prayers to his family. Rest in peace to Dante Wright, who just got shot by police. Prayers for his family. Yo, in the old New York, niggas would have backed them down. Niggas would have backed them police down. In the old New York, we was backing them police down and shit. The police was scared to run up on niggas. They was scared to pull niggas over. They was scared to run up on niggas because niggas had better guns than police. Police had the bullshit 38 issue joint. That's what they was carrying. Niggas was backing them niggas down, man. Niggas had Tech Nines and all of that shit. Police was scared to run up on niggas back then in the old New York. You know what I'm saying? This New York that we living in now, this is like a whole new New York. You know what I mean? The police ain't scared. They not scared of the civilians like they was back in the 80s and back in the 90s. You know what I mean? These days, they look at these kids the same way you look at, young girls, because that's how they look. Like a lot of the dudes of today, these young dudes of today, like they look like females, you know what I'm saying? The clothes they wear look like females' clothes and everything. You know what I mean? It's a whole nother New York than the New York I grew up. And then I've been hearing a lot of slander too out there. A lot of slander about DMX and a lot of people talking about his drug addiction, this and that. But most of y'all niggas, like y'all parents was crackheads. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all parents was drug addicts. Because when crack first hit in the mid 80s, you wasn't a crackhead. You understand what I'm saying? You wasn't a crackhead yet. It was the new thing. Like the same way, like when E-pills hit. When E-pills first hit, ecstasy first hit, everybody was using ecstasy. You know what I mean? That's the same thing when crack first hit. When crack first hit, a lot of people was using crack when it first hit. It wasn't that you were crackhead. It was just a new thing to do. You know what I mean? But then later on in life, if you were still doing it later on in life, they would consider you a crackhead. You know what I mean? But a lot of people struggle with drug addiction, no matter what it could be, whether it could be crack, whether it could be dope, whether it could be the coke, alcohol, cigarettes, the list goes on and on. A lot of people struggle from addiction. And I wouldn't say any addiction is worse than the next addiction. Addiction is addiction. You know what I'm saying? It's something that takes over your soul. You know what I mean? It's something that you feel like you need every day, which a lot of it is mental. Like a lot of it is mental as far as addiction. Your mind is trained for you to think that you need these things every day. You know what I mean? It's like you made it traditional for yourself to do these things every day or every other day. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really needs it. It's just little mental wars that we go through with inside our own head that makes us feel like we need these things. But whatever you do, whatever type of addiction you have, you can actually stop. You can actually stop tomorrow if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? You can stop right now if you want to. It's all within your mind. You know what I mean? That's what I want to say about as far as drug addiction. Let's get to the topic at hand though. Did New York lose its identity? Okay. I'm gonna tell you about the New York that I grew up in. You know what I mean? First of all, I'm always interviewing other people. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about me. You know what I'm saying? I'm Big Twin, which y'all know already. I'm from the Bronx. I'm from 178th, West Farms, Lambert area, the Hell's Gates, East Tremont, 2 and 5 stop on East Tremont. That's where I'm from. Born and raised. I was born in Jacoby Hospital. Right after that, got took right to West Farms. Like I've been there for years and years and years. I've been in the farms. I've been in West Farms. If y'all know my area, y'all know East Tremont, the East Tremont area, gang over there. You already know. We got Crips over there on East Tremont. We got Bloods on East Tremont. We got Kings, Patias, Triatario, whatever you want to, all the different gangs in New York. We got it right there on Tremont Ave, and everybody is coexisting with each other. So, that's my strip. Tremont Ave is my strip, and all the gangs coexist with each other over there. You know what I mean? You hearing it from me, this is my block I'm telling you about. This is how that block, Tremont, give it up. You know what I mean? And a lot of people in other states talk about New York is like copycatting. They copycatting off the gang stuff from other states. But there was always gangs here in New York. They showed y'all a snippet of that in the movie from I think 78, 79 called Warriors. Warriors. They show you all the gangs, a lot of different gangs, how New York was gang infested. So New York is not copying off of nobody. The gang shit been here. It's been here and it's always going to be here. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I could say that about the gangs, but let me talk about now the music now. The sound of the music in these last couple of years, that ain't been here. You could call that some copycat and shit. You understand what I'm saying? The drill music is originally from Chirac, and like that down south sound with the bounce, that down south, that's from down south. At some point, for some reason, we didn't want to do our classical, cultural New York sound no more. I don't know why. I guess dudes felt like that type of sound gets more love, or that type of sound gets more radio play. You understand what I'm saying? Or that type of sound is more marketable for everybody, because a lot of the New York music, just New Yorkers, hardcore, in the veins, New Yorkers like that type of music, the New York music. You understand what I'm saying? But you could get more of an audience with the drill. You could get more of an audience with that down south bounce. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people these days that don't even listen to the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? They it's just the beat. The beat and the hook is catchy. You know what I mean? So we kind of took on that style. But a lot of these kids growing up today, they was raised on that sound. You understand what I'm saying? Now, people that's like my age and better, them converting their original sound to that sound, that's some goofy shit. That's goofy and all that. You got to stick to your classical New York sound. You know what I mean? That'd be some goofy shit for people like my age and better, like, that came up off of the Mobb Deeps, the Wu-Tangs, the Cool G Raps and the KRSs, for us to convert to the drill sound or that, the down south bounce sound, that's some goofy shit. Like we gotta, we gotta stay grounded in our own sound. You know what I mean? And this is no disrespect, like to any of the other states. I'm just talking about, New York right now and like our original way of how we did things. You understand what I'm saying? We was always unique, and individually, the artist individually was unique also. Like KRS-One didn't sound like Cool G Rap. You understand what I'm saying? Cool G Rap didn't sound like Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest. You understand? Tribe Called Quest didn't sound like the Jungle Brothers. You understand what I'm saying? Special Ed didn't sound like Big Daddy Kane. I could go on and on. Everybody had their classic, unique sound. But now when you add money and these millions of dollars, thousands of millions of dollars into the equation, that changes the narrative. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people today, they chasing what's marketable. You understand what I'm saying? They not on that the regular sound that we used to. They don't want to do that no more because they want the clout. You know what I'm saying? They want the heavy rotation on the radio. They want the whole America, the whole America to listen to their music and listen to their sound. You understand what I'm saying? So right now we dealing with a lot of like marketing. A lot of it got to do with like marketing. It ain't us, you know what I mean? It looks goofy on us. The drill music looks a little bit goofy on us. You know what I mean? The South bounce don't fit us. You know what I'm saying? If you watch some of the videos that they making today, you'll put like a projects in Brownsville, and you'll mix that up with the drill sound. And when I look at it, it don't look right to me. It don't go. You know what I mean? I don't know how like y'all feel about it, how y'all might feel, but it don't go to me. You know what I mean? It just, you know what I mean? The shit don't mix. You know what I'm saying? Now we got we got the gang shit and all of that. We got the gang shit going on in New York. That's one thing. And a lot of people, they coincide the gang shit with the sound. You know what I mean? But this shit just don't mix to me. I know y'all y'all like the CJs, the 6 9s, the 5 foreigns and this and that, but it don't go to me. Like, it don't mix up when I watch the visual along with the sound. You know what I mean? I've been listening to music my whole life. I knew hip hop before I was able to add and subtract. You understand what I'm saying? So when I look at it from a different perspective. You know what I mean? Than most people do. You know what I'm saying? Raheem from Furious 5 is from my hood. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was around hip hop my whole entire life. So I look at it from a different perspective as most people might view it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people that say, oh, nah, they still say, nah, that's evolution. New York is evolving. We evolving. That's not evolving. Copying off another state ain't evolving. You know what I'm saying? Taking on another state, another part of America's sound, music sound is not evolving. That's just copying. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And yo, salute, American Links. Salute. BX, you already know. BX and shit. Where you from in the X though? Yeah. So in the old New York, we would we had to do everything in groups. Like, whether you went to clubs, you went to bars or whatever, everybody would roll deep, because in old New York, being by yourself was dangerous. New York was dangerous in the 80s. New York was dangerous in the 90s, and it was also dangerous in like the early 2000s. So everywhere you would ever go, you would go deep. Your whole crew would go. Like, you might say, like, the weed spot might be like, let's say 3 blocks up the block. 3 blocks. You won't go to that by yourself. You know what I'm saying? It took like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of y'all all walk up there. That's the old New York. The old New York was dangerous and all that. You couldn't walk anywhere. Like nowadays, you could pretty much walk through like any neighborhood you could walk through now. You know what I mean? You could even have your colors on. If you blood, you could have the flag. You Crip, you could have the flag. You could walk through, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like maybe only like a 40% chance that something might happen to you and all of that. New York is different. It definitely changed for the better. You know what I mean? And how it changed, I could tell you the transition of when it started to change is when Rudolph Giuliani became mayor. Because when he became mayor, police was jumping out on everybody on the corners, because there was a point in time where everybody would chill on the corners. Everybody would chill in front of the bodegas, everything in front of your building, deep, everything. But when Giuliani became mayor, he was the DA before he was mayor, so he knew how this city moved already. You know what I'm saying? So he had all his police jumping out, arresting us, giving us trespassing warnings. Not warrants, but trespassing warnings. These are places that we chilled, we hung out our whole life. You understand what I'm saying? Places that we once hung out our whole life, we couldn't hang out no more under Rudolph Giuliani's dictatorship. You understand what I'm saying? So when he came in, used to be able to you could smoke a blunt right there on the street. You know what I'm saying? Back then, smoke right there, drink a 40 right there on the street. The cops wasn't bothering you as long as you had the brown paper bag like covering it. But when Giuliani came into office and all that, he was having the cops give tickets out to whoever was drinking on the street. And if you were smoking, they probably took you in. You know what I'm saying? There was cops that would snatch the blunt from you, put it out, tell you put it out or whatever. Even some of them would hit the blunt and all that, give it back to you. But under his dictatorship, a lot of them was taking you into the bookings. So there was times I was in the bookings, right? I was in central bookings on 161, and you had the whole entire cell. All of us right there in the cell. It's like 10, 15 of us all right there. Everybody's in there for weed. Weed is legal now. You know what I mean? You can smoke and all of that. You can have anything under 3 ounces on you. You know what I'm saying? They ain't going to take you in. But back then, it's a bunch of us, 15 of us, all in the bookings and all that. For what? For weed. Nobody's in there for robbing nobody. Nobody's in there for shooting nobody. Nobody's in there for killing nobody. We all in there for weed. You know what I mean? Y'all young niggas got it good. You know what I'm saying? Y'all coming, y'all living in a whole nother paradigm right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's like moving forward with Rafiq, he said the stop and frisk. Yes, the stop and frisk. That was crazy too. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have an innocent person that's just going to work. They just going to work, coming back from work, and the police is jumping out on them. just because the way they might be moving through the street or whatever, you know, the way they move with something, their energy, the way their energy look, they might get jumped out on. The truth is their adrenaline is still running because they just came from work. They was working the last 8 hours. Their adrenaline is still pumping. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why they have their energy like that. But then you got the D's jumping out on them, frisking them and seeing, you know, regular working people and all that. It was ugly for a minute. Yeah, he definitely was the DA. He was the DA around Nicky Barnes' time. You know what I mean? He was the DA. He helped take down the whole council, the 7-man council of the Nicky Barnes, his team. He was a part of that. So, you know, Giuliani, he had snitches and all of that like in his back pocket for years. You know what I'm saying? He knew this city inside and out. You know what I'm saying? For real. Just dropped by to show my love. My brother Latin Pain spoke highly of you. Yo, shout out to Latin Pain. You know what I'm saying? The Chronicles of Bicicleta. That's my dude right there. You know, that's my dude on some other shit too. Like we talk about completely other things. You know what I mean? That's my guy right there. You know, and I want to get to this guy. I was watching a video the other day. Charleston White. Charleston White was he was banging on DMX. You know what I mean? He was talking about DMX and saying all types of like crazy shit about DMX and all of that. Like, let me say something about like this YouTube world and what I don't like about this YouTube world. It gave a lot of people that's in the reality is really like people that don't really have substance. They're not people of substance, a voice. Now, I give you an example. Like you might have a troll, like a person that lives somewhere, you know, in Iowa. Okay, let's say Iowa, or let's say you know, Iowa, Canada, anywhere, somewhere where it's really not lit like that, right? In a small town you never heard of, right? Now, they might bang on you. You might do a live. They might bang on you on the comments of the live, right? Or, you know, they might somehow troll you on any one of these social networks. That's the thing I don't like about this social media stuff. It gave nobody's a voice. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody could create anybody. It could be a freaking 70-year-old man or lady could create an account on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or any of these social networks, right? And they could bang on you. It gave like this social media shit gave nobodies a chance to bang on to somebody's. You know what I'm saying? People that ain't got no substance. They don't be outside. They don't leave their house. They always in the house. It gave them an opportunity to bang on people that be outside. You know what I'm saying? People that are of substance. You know what I mean? That's the thing I don't like about social media. Like the Charleston White dude, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like this nigga's talking like, come on, like one of these young dudes out knock this nigga straight on his ass. Like, you know what I mean? This internet shit is giving too many people like too many people a voice. You know what I'm saying? That don't deserve it, that don't deserve to have a voice. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody don't deserve for everybody to listen to them. Like a lot of the kids, they're listening to a lot of these dudes that really don't have direction. They have no direction. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes, they like leading you into like a fire. Like, you know what I mean? They have no direction. These are not people that you need to be listening to. A lot of these people, a lot of these niggas is bums on here too, yo. I'm gonna stop being nice and all that. I'm gonna keep it official. Like a lot of these niggas is bums that y'all, you know, a lot of the kids be following and all that. Don't listen to them. He's a bum. He ain't got no direction. These dudes ain't got no. I'm not talking about Charleston White too. I'm just talking about in general. Like a lot of dudes ain't got no direction. You know what I mean? They don't have nothing of substance to tell you, or nothing of substance they could teach you that you can learn from. It's nothing. They have nothing. You know what I mean? Don't listen to them. Niggas is bums and all of that. Like they what they are is somebody's headache. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes that be on this YouTube shit, doing these lives and talking and this and that, they somebody's headache. You know what I mean? Somebody wants these dudes out of their house. You understand what I'm saying? Some of these dudes want some of these dudes out of their life. You know what I mean? Like for real. Yeah, BX in the building. MBOD just got put onto the channel. Good shit. Salute MBOD. You already know. Keep supporting. Word up. Salute to everybody. Salute to everybody that's subscribed to this channel Everybody who watches the interviews, I got a lot of good shit coming too. I ain't gonna let the cat out the bag that quick, but I got, some shit that might surprise y'all. I got coming up too soon. And yeah, but we definitely lost our identity somewhere along the line. You know what I mean? We New York ain't New York no more. One thing I do give props to New York for, I give props for the change. Yes, it is a safer place nowadays for kids to grow up in compared to when I was growing up. Because when I was growing up, it was real out here. You know what I mean? It was cracking dope on every block. I'm talking about like the South Bronx. It was cracking dope on every block when I was growing up. You know what I mean? And this might sound ignorant for what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. To not to not get a percentage and not get, not have a percentage and to be, not get a percentage in the street back then, you was stupid. This might sound ignorant, but I'm gonna say this anyway. To not have a percentage in the street, you was stupid back then because you could have made so much money out there, back then, to the point where you was stupid to not be a part of that. You know what I mean? So God forgive me and all that, but I was a part of all of that, all of the nonsense. I was a part of all of that. You know what I mean? They labeled me. They labeled me and my brother. I'm a twin, so they labeled us in our paperwork as a public nuisance. If you don't know what that means, you could go look that up right now. But they labeled us a public nuisance. They said we was like a cancer, like a public nuisance is like a cancer to the community. And you know what I mean? Like me and my brother, we had a whole building. Facts. Like we had a whole building on smash. The building was ours and this and that. A lot of, all that ignorant shit. I ain't gonna get into it, but you know, that was our life like back then and all of that. And I thank God that God, brung me out of the darkness and brung me more into like the light. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't be here talking with y'all if I kept going hard at what I was doing and all of that. I done had guns and all of that when they came to get us and all of that. That wasn't there. That wasn't in the house by the time they got there. Have the guns been in the house, I probably wouldn't be talking to y'all right now. I'd still be probably upstate right now. You know what I'm saying? Have they caught that? So I thank God that, God like delivered me out of that type of darkness. You know what I mean? But that's the New York I grew up in. That you had to be a part of. You had to be a part of all of that. If you wasn't a part of all of that, you was considered a nobody. There was times where like I'm gonna keep it official with y'all. There was times where people wouldn't even walk on the same side of the street as us. They were scared to walk on the same side of the street as us because our team, considered like you know how you be like, yo, them niggas that's them niggas right there. Them niggas they got the whole shit. Like that's them. That's who we was. And it was people who were scared to walk on the same side of the street as us. Facts. And these are people, it was people that we grew up with, that we actually grew up with, that, they seen me from a kid all the way up until I was older. They were scared to walk on the same side of the street as us, everything. It was a mess. You know what I'm saying? The shit was a mess. People used to call the cops on us for no reason. You know what I mean? Just to watch us from the window, get searched and like laugh, you know what I'm saying? Laugh from their windows. You know what I mean? All types of shit. You know what I mean? And I could go on and on about that, but I ain't. I'm gonna get back into the music. So now, as far as the music and all of that, I really believe that we should have stuck to our regular our classic cultural like New York sound. I believe we should have stuck to that because you might not think so, but there is a lot of people who still support. They still support that sound and that type of music. There's a lot of people like me that I still support that sound. Shout out to the dudes, the Griselda dudes, like them dudes. They still have our classic cultural sound, but they from up there. They from Buffalo. So, a lot of them dudes, I'm not, no disrespect to them, but they actually read the script. They read the script of how we give it up down here, of how we our fashion down here, of how we give it up on the microphone, the music. They read the script and they actually followed the script and they stuck to the script. And now look, you know what I mean? They actually progressing, they profiting, they progressing off of, what we've built down here in the city. You understand what I'm saying? And they got that sound, like they got a sound that, nobody sounds like them right now. And the only people that do sound like them are people that is actually in the loop with them somehow, some way. You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, I believe that we should have stuck to our regular cultural sound, here in New York, Um like you have like okay, like back when Mobb Deep, right? Mobb Deep and Shook Ones and all of that came out, like it fit us so much. Like that style, it coincided with our lives, and it fit us like so much around the time when that came out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that was our identity. That was our true identity. Check it. This is our true identity right here. The Nas album, and this is for anybody who's going to watch this video or sees this video that's not from New York. This is who we are. The Nas album, Illmatic album, that's who we really are. Nas Illmatic album. The Mobb Deep Shook Ones album, that's who we really are. The Mobb Deep Hell on Earth album, that's who we really are. That's the real New York right there. You understand what I'm saying? The song Cream from Wu-Tang, that's who we really are. You know what I mean? That's the classical New York sound. You know what I mean? Now, if you had like the 80s, in the 80s and all of that, we had a lot of music about partying and dancing, but that's because we separated our personal lives with the music back then. So the music might have been like hip hop and you know what I mean, and that type of sound and a lot of like dance and party shit. But the truth is, it was separate from the streets. The streets was crazier than it could have ever been. But the artists of back then wasn't rapping about that till later on. You understand what I'm saying? They were separating the streets and the music. You know what I mean? It was two different things. They were separating it. You know what I mean? But then you had like the Harlem dudes like Mob Style, Pretty Tony, AZ, and Gangsta Lou, and them dudes from Mob Style. They was from Harlem. They started making music. They was some hustlers from Harlem, but then they started making music. And their type of music was also like the soundtrack to our lives in the street. You know what I mean? Here in New York. Nobody was really putting it down like Mob Style. There was only like one other person putting it down like them, and that was Kool G Rap. Because Kool G Rap, he had a lot of songs talking about like the reality of our true reality too. You know what I mean? Kool G Rap. But the way Mob Style was putting it down, nobody was putting it down like Mob Style. Shout out to Pretty Tone and Gangsta Lou and them. Shout out to them. Because nobody was putting it down like these brothers. These brothers had their own sound back then. You know what I'm saying? Live and Let Die, that album. You can look it up on YouTube and shit. Give it a listen if you never heard it before. Mob Style, Live and Let Die. Type that in YouTube. You know what I'm saying? See what you're gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? It's a real classic New York sound. But the labels, the music labels, they also create. All right, y'all remember back in the day, you had it was a toy called Mr. Potato Head, where you take the potato, right? And you take the potato and you stick the eyes on the potato, you stick a mustache on the potato, you stick a hat on the potato. That's what these record labels are doing now to these artists of today. They're grafting them. They grafted, like, how they say Yakub grafted the European and all of that. That's the way the record labels is grafting the rappers these days. You know what I'm saying? They probably encouraging them to get the tattoos on their face and all of that. They're encouraging them probably to dread their hair up and all of that, to get the tattoo, you know what I mean? The chains that come up to like right here and all of that, the chokers and all of that. The record labels is probably encouraging them to do that. They grafted like Mr. Potato Head, like Yakub supposedly grafted the European. That's how the record labels are grafting the rappers like these days. You know what I'm saying? And I suggest like for kids to don't really listen to them. Like they're not who they say they are. They're just rappers. It's just rap. It's just music. They're not who they say they are. It's just music. It's just music. It's just rhymes over, bouncy beats. It's just music. They're not who they say they are. Like you, the listener, probably did more dirt on the street than the rapper that's rapping about it. You understand what I'm saying? You got to be smart. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the music manipulate you, because a lot of the music, it's like sorcery. Like if you listen to certain other, pay attention to how you feel when you got the radio on or you playing it in your headphones or whatever. Pay attention to how you feel when you play certain songs. You know what I mean? See what it does to you, how it kind of takes over you a little something. You know what I mean? Like I give you an example. If you remember that song from a couple years ago, like Molly Percocets, how like when that song came on, the way the beat sounds, like that, the whistle and the horns and like the flute, that's like sorcery. You know what I mean? The way that, you know what I mean? It's like sorcery. Like the way you feel like when the CJ song come on, the CJ Whoopty song come on, how you feel when that come on. Like, you know what I mean? You got to pay attention to how it takes over your chakras. You know what I mean? How it takes over your body, like certain sounds. That's what it was meant to do. You know what I mean? That's what it was meant to do. See, Twin NYC TV. That's Twin right there. Yo, go subscribe right now. Anybody watching, go subscribe right now to Twin NYC TV. Subscribe to that channel. You know, watch the videos, like, share, comment. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you got to be careful. You got to be careful with this music and all of that, because the music it's you know what I mean? It got a lot of demonic energy in it. You know what I'm saying? The music. It's a lot of demonic energy in the music. And you got to be careful of what you listen to, because if you're subconscious, if you're not in tune with your soul and your subconscious, these things could take over you. You understand what I'm saying? It could definitely take over your soul and all that if you're not paying attention. You know, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to how you feel when you put this music on and all of that. You know what I mean? This is Big Twin. This is the Meth Lab. Just want to tap in for a second, drop a couple thoughts to y'all. Word up. Shout out to everybody who supports me. Shout out to you if you don't. You know what I mean? Love is love. You already know. Signing out, Big Twin. Look for the next video. Like, share, subscribe. You already know. Y'all be safe out there. You already know. 40.